welcome. This is the 11th Stress Management Workshop for Leeds Beckett University. Hi, my name is Jen. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Give me a big fat like and a big hello in the description box, in the comments box below. I would love to know where you are, what you're up to, and yeah, if you've actually been watching any of my previous stress management workshops. I'm here to hopefully give you some value, to point you in the right direction if you have been struggling with stress, anxiety, or maybe anything else that's related to our current situation. There's a lot of things going on right now, and I want these workshops for you to be, for you a place to go to should you have any challenges when it comes to your physical and mental health. So I've actually done 10 weeks prior to week 11, funny that. And usually I've gone into a little bit of a description and a bit of an intro into each one at the start of each workshop, but I've actually done 10, so I won't be going into too much detail right here, but I will signpost you. So if you were to look down below in the comments box, you can see from weeks 1 to 10 and all the subjects that we've covered throughout the last 10 weeks. But the most important ones will always be week number 1 with the Are You Stressed assessment. It's a 25-part questionnaire stroke assessment, and it really gives you an insight as to where you are with your stress levels, because sometimes you may not even realise that you're experiencing the negative impacts that stress might have on your body, because it's not a one-size-fits-all. It appears in many different ways and manifests in someone's life in many different ways. So if you were to score 14 points plus on that assessment, then I would then suggest for you to either reach out to me, or you can actually ping to another week that we've done before, depending on where you are with your life, and you can maybe gain value from another workshop. But if you're really in particularly quite stressed and a bit concerned about where your stress has led to, for example, you are really now struggling with anxiety and maybe really for the first time in your life, then please reach out, because I'm actually a depression survivor. I've been burnt out. I've been very stressed in my time through businesses and experiences through business. So I feel I've got some knowledge and experience, and I'm more than happy to share with you what's helped me. And actually that's what's come through in all these workshops. So again, if you are struggling with stress in any shape or form, the best thing for you to do right now is to hop over to week number 1. The link is in the description box below, and it will just give you rough ideas to how possibly urgent your situation is in terms of getting yourself back to your optimum health, because we all want you to be fit, well and healthy. Because 10 weeks ago, obviously for most of us, if not all of us, our world was turned upside down without any warning, and it just seems things are getting worse. Obviously we've all heard the news of last week in America, and there's protests going on all around the world, and there seems to be a lot out of our control right now. And I just want you to know that if you are struggling in any shape or form, that I'm here. So that's week 1 to 10. Stress, many people don't understand this, but stress can get quite addictive, and these are what these workshops are there for you to do in terms of coming up with like an intervention in order to stop that stress from really taking over. So the amygdala is a fear response mechanism in your brain, and when you're stressed, it kicks in and sends electrical and chemical signals to the motor cortex, which is your ability to take action. So usually in a very healthy type stress situation, you either freeze, fight or run away. But again, people do tend to get addicted to these chemicals that are released in the brain, and it's only really with intervention that you can really manage your stress. So that's really what stress is in a nutshell, and what most people don't realise that can happen if you're leading a stressful life. But obviously in this type of situation, it's presented many types of stress and many types of triggers. So it could have had a huge impact on your mindset, or your finances, or your relationships, or anything really. Is quite a broad type situation, a crisis that we're in, a pandemic. So again, I just want you to maybe not run into those addictive behaviours. But with the help of Leeds Beckett University, I'm a big believer in full resources, and they cater so very well for these 4 resources in order to help you intervene with stress, and that is your cardio, strength, balance, and good nutrition. There are so many classes that Leeds Beckett University caters for, and all you need to do is just pop along onto this page where you are right now, Leeds Beckett Fitness. You can see the massive selection of awesome classes. I would definitely recommend you try and do at least between 1 and 3 a week. If you're brand new to yoga, try yoga. If you're brand new to meditation, try meditation. All these types of mental and physical exercises will do you wonders for not only for your happiness levels, but your positive mindset as well. And we all just want those feel good emotions to be released in our bodies. So go ahead and check that out. That's what we're here for in terms of the classes that we're offered, to help you feel better in however you're perceiving this current situation. And we just want you to feel, again, yourself and your optimal health. So week 11, I can't believe we're here, week 11, and I decided to do advice for those in their 20s. So obviously, who's this for? People for those who are in their 20s. So give me a shout, leave a comment in the box. How old are you? Are you maybe older? Are you in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s plus? What advice would you give someone in their 20s if you could have your 20s again? I would really love to know what exactly you might suggest and offer as advice to those who are in their 20s right now. But I just think that with all the uncertainty and the upsets in the world right now, I don't want you, if you are in your 20s, going into life with all this doom and gloom, because life can be, and it is, in my experience anyway, it is amazing. It's precious. It's such a gift that we're here and we can experience things on a real physical and enjoyable type way. But there are obviously things that happen in life that can completely knock you off track, but again, with the right resources or the right mindset, you can get through anything. And again, this is what I want this workshop for you to for it to be. So if you want to take some notes, then feel free. But it could be that you've just finished up uni, or it could be that you're deciding to maybe leave home, maybe not necessarily right now because of the crisis, but in the near future. It could be that you want to take the plunge and move in with someone. I don't know where you are in your 20s. I can only talk about where I was in my 20s. Well, actually, I moved out when I was 18. It's not because I wanted to, get away from my family home at all. It's because I wanted to for independent reasons. It was the best thing I did because I've always been an independent person anyway. You get to learn to really handle your bills. You get to really understand what it is to be on your own 2 feet. I wouldn't, knock it at all. I would definitely recommend it to anyone. So if you think about moving, this workshop is for you. If you are deciding to maybe continue with even further education, this could be for you as well. Or it could be for those who are in their 20s and wanted to start traveling around the world. I certainly did that. I saved myself a bit of money. It took me about a year to save, and I went traveling around the world. So that's quite a typical thing for those in their 20s, if that's something that you wish you want to do. So again, maybe not this year. We might have to, put things on hold on that type of thing, the travel aspect. But certainly, I would recommend traveling. But I'm going to go into more detail about 10 tips actually, what I would advise for those who are in their 20s. So number 1, I would just take note of your closest 5 people in your orbit, in your life. Who are they? How influential are they? How positive are they? Because really, you are the sum of the total 5 people that you spend the most time with. So if you feel like you're not surrounded by positive people, then I would make a start and change that. It's going to be easier said than done. It might be that you need to move out of home, or it might be that you need to change your friends, and it's so easier said than done. I'm not saying it's easy, any of these tips I'm going to talk to you about, and this being the first. However, you are really the sum of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. So if you are in a positive environment and they've always got your back and you are encouraged by your closest 5 people, then great, you are in the best place possible for you to grow as a person. It is said, and there's loads of research behind this, that your environment plays a huge role in your success in life, whatever it is you want to choose to do in your life. So if you're not surrounded by positive people who support you, who love you, who have your back, and will encourage you every step of the way, then that is the first thing to change, because you need support. You need, even if you've just moved out of home, you still need that go-to support network. So if it means change there, I would think about changing things up. And don't feel bad if you need to change your friends, because at the end of the day, people grow. You never stop learning. Well, you shouldn't stop learning once you finish university. So continue to grow as a person. And if you sort of outgrow your friends, that's fine. It's a sign really that you're just growing as a person, and not everyone grows at the same pace. So don't be too alarmed if you feel like you are losing that connection or relationship with your closest 5. I wouldn't suggest do it maybe overnight, change those 5 closest people. I don't know what your situation is, but you can obviously do this in time, and you don't have to be cruel or unkind either. There are ways of doing things in a nice, friendly manner, but you have every right to change those closest 5 people if they're not serving well in your personal growth. Tip number 2 is change your mindset. So just if you can, take a step back from who you are and just be aware of, do you follow the majority or are you a bit of an individual? It was always good at school in my sort of day and age, I'm 37, to be part of the crowd because it was sort of safer or a popular thing to do, or it makes school life easier. There wasn't too much room for individuality, unfortunately, but you know, now that I've come out from school 20 odd years ago and I've got a 4-year-old, I would always encourage Oscar just to be himself, not to be different for the sake of being different, but just to be himself. If you are following a crowd of people that you don't quite resonate with, then you're not being true to yourself. So think about your mindset. If you feel you've always thought out of the box, and if you've always thought you are a bit different, a bit quirky, that is just precious. That's gold, especially if you're wanting to choose the entrepreneurial path, because all that sort of stuff will take you places in the future. So be proud, be bold, and really step into and honour your uniqueness and individuality, because at the end of the day, when you think about it, there's no one in the world like you. You are you. There's no competition. No one's really going to really get you like you do, and in fact, you may not even get yourself at that moment in time. It takes all of us a whole lifetime to understand who we are anyway. So try and block off everyone else. Think about yourself, especially from your 20s onwards. And if you feel you've got a mindset that's different from the norm, don't be afraid of that. Roll with that. In fact, put that at your forefront of thinking. Never stop learning. This is like an additional point for point number 2, because if you stop learning, you're dying, and that's what one of my mentors has said to me along the way. So once you finish uni, if that's where you are, continue with the reading, continue with the research, whatever it is that you love. Obviously, don't do something that you're not enjoying, but always keep learning, keep growing, and feed that positive mindset. So it depends what you're looking for in terms of mindset. If you want a success mindset, great, go and get or read the books around a success mindset, what it means to be successful in business, for example, or what it means to be successful in being a great partner or a great parent. Whatever it is that you want to be successful for, there's a mindset for that. All you need to do is just find the right set of books, the right set of mentors, and that will get you along your way. Tip number 3 for those in their 20s is always prioritize your health and always make yourself happy. And it's not a selfish thing, this, at all. It really is a case of the analogy of, you're on a plane, the plane's running into problems. They always suggest you put your mask on first, and then you can help your little one or ones, children next to you. And it's because if you are not great, how do you expect you to help anyone else? So prioritising yourself and putting you first will benefit yourself and everyone. So that's really the understanding there. So health, fitness, and mindset really covers this in terms of like prioritize your health as a whole. You need to continue, if you haven't done so already, you need to start, if not continue, with your health, your fitness. So again, Leeds Beckett University, the fitness schedule is absolutely amazing. If you haven't picked up fitness before, then absolutely fine. There's never ever a late time. You can start from today if you really wanted to. So many benefits in keeping up with your fitness. And also, you are what you eat, which is a saying you might have heard, but it's so true. You feed off the fuel you're giving yourself. So it goes without saying, if you're eating the right foods, so the fruits, the veg, all the supplements, whatever it is that you want to take. I don't take any of them, I just do the fruit and the veg. Keep going, because you feed off it and everything else becomes easier if you are looking yourself from within. So that's number 3, prioritize your health, and always put yourself first and make yourself happy. You can do that through the exercise and through the eating well. Number 4, don't let other people decide your choices. Now, you might come from a family who already had your life mapped out for you, and you've been resisting that internally. Or it could be that you think you might need to do X job or Z opportunity because that's what you feel society's been telling you. At the end of the day, put all that aside, what everyone else thinks aside. What do you want to do? And that is a huge question, because sometimes people go through their whole life and not realise what they want to do in their life. And if that's the case, just go back a step. What makes you happy? And by the time you're in your 20s, you're going to know what makes you happy. Do you have a love of music? Do you really love getting on well with people? And do you have a love for family? Do you love travelling? What is it that you love? Not like or put up with or get on with, but what do you actually love? And we all love something, and it could be so subtle. It could be anything to do with food even, or animals, or a particular subject, or what is it? Write down your top 3 to 5. If you feel you haven't got an instant love for something, then just spend the next few days, just ponder it, wonder exactly what it is that you really do love and enjoy. And I would always use that as your compass, and I would veer into that direction. I did a travel and tourism degree, and I used it to a certain extent. I went to London, got myself a graduate job, and I also used it in China. I was out there for 7 years as an expat. But now I don't do anything about in relation to travel and tourism. So just because you might have had a degree in something, it doesn't necessarily mean you need to continue with that path. You can change paths, and most people would change paths 2 to 3 times, 4 times, however many times in their life. So don't be alarmed if you've actually finished up with uni and you're not exactly sure that you want to carry on doing what you've just studied. It's a stepping stone. You think how much learning and growing you did as a person doing that degree. So absolutely not redundant whatsoever. However, don't let other people decide your choices. It comes from you, because that's the only way to the path of happiness, if you're doing something that you want to do. So that's point number 4. Number 5 is trust your gut, your intuition, basically. How many times have you gone against that feeling? And in all honesty, we're not taught this at school, in my experience anyway, we're not taught this at school. My parents certainly didn't really talk anything about intuition, but there's so much out there now with the help of being online and the accessibility of YouTube. When you've got that real strong feeling against something, that is your gut talking. It's quite hard to determine if it's your gut or your head logically thinking and talking for you, but it's hard to describe. But I'm sure we must have all felt that at least once or twice in our life when it comes to like a big decision, like when it comes to a move, or a boyfriend or girlfriend, or a financial situation. If you are really finding resistance, then that could be a sign that your gut is trying to scream out and say something to you. So if you can listen, and that's why meditation is absolutely amazing, because it really does clear out all that stuff going on in your head, and it really does make you get back in tune with who you are and what you think and how you feel, and it will really guide you. So definitely trust your gut. My piece of advice there. Number 6 is avoid debt. Now, most of us are in debt, and I'm not saying all debt is bad, not at all. There's definitely good debt, and I definitely picked up a book in my 20s by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it's fantastic because it really makes you think about debt in a different way. Now, if you're in your 20s, no doubt you probably have had, by the time you were 18, letters through the door. Oh, you are now eligible for a £2,000 loan with one of the banks, and as tempting that is, and you might have even got those credit cards already, just don't do it. If you don't know what to spend your money on, or invest your money on, I should say, then please just avoid any type of debt until you actually know you can use that money smartly and wisely, and it's OPM, other people's money. If you can leverage off other people's money in a way that is a calculated risk, and you've weighed up the pros and the cons, and you know exactly what you're doing, I would recommend getting a mentor. If you're deciding on a business venture, then yeah, sure, go for it, because there is good debt and bad debt, but try not to go for the bad debt. For example, getting out a car because you want to go traveling, even though that's an investment in your own personal growth and health and experiences in life, just go with caution. At number 7, know your strengths and weaknesses. We're all individuals. We're all going to have a set of skill sets that are, different from the next person, and it's always good, I think, just to know what you're good at, what you're not good at, because as humans, we do default to the easiest of settings, and if something's easier, we're going to take that route, and there's no point doing something in life that isn't that you don't find easy or you don't find enjoyable. So if you've just spent the last 3 years doing a uni degree and you realise you're not keen, that's fine. It's a process that you needed to go through in order to realise your strengths and your weaknesses. So I would always recommend you go on the path where your strengths serve you well in the situation that you want to embark in. So always know what your strengths and weaknesses are. So for example, let's just say, are you more of a people person? Are you more of a go-getter, high achiever? You want to be around people? Or are you an introvert? So you like programming, you want to sort of like sit behind a computer screen, on a very sort of generic, sort of understanding. That's what I'm trying to get at there. Work smarter, not harder. I brushed up on this before, but this is point number 8. We can burn ourselves out. I've done that before. Make sure you pick your career path wisely. There are definitely pros and cons to anything we choose in life. However, there is definitely a way of working smarter and not harder. Just because you can and you're young enough to work 60 plus hours a month, it doesn't, or no, a week, sorry, it doesn't mean that you can and that you must just to get some money in the door. There are so many opportunities online. I'm actually an online business coach, and once you change your mindset and see the opportunities that are online, and I think now with the COVID crisis, many people are thinking about migrating their businesses online or finding opportunities online. There are more ways than just working a 9 to 5 in an office, and even now you can't really work in an office. The government are now telling us if you can work from home, work from home. So yes, there are ways of working smarter, not harder. I would definitely never work time for money. Try and get your money working for you harder in other opportunities. And if you need any chat on that, then feel free to message me, but I'm not going to talk about it in detail here because it's not the type of workshop, but yeah, there's always ways, but always work smarter, not harder. You want freedom, you want that balance of having your own time to do other things. I mean, there's going to be a time in your life where you want to start a family, I'm sure, or if you don't, you want to like travel or build houses or whatever it is that you want to do. Don't base your worth on how someone else perceives your worth. So this is number 9. Now, know your value, know your worth, know exactly who you are and stand your ground. Don't ever be with anyone who doesn't see your value, know your worth. Don't ever be in a company who doesn't see your value or know your worth. Yeah, you know you, and there's no point going down a level or two just to please a situation you're in or please someone. Definitely don't be a people pleaser. And stand your ground. If you know a situation, a job, relationship, a friendship even isn't serving you well, and they get you all wrong, and they just judge you all the time, and they completely misunderstand you as a person, then time to step away and never be in that situation where you're basing your worth on how someone else perceives your worth. Number 10, the last one, be true to you and always put yourself first. Again, this is really going back to being guided by your intuition, your gut. Trust it. It's what it's there for. It's a thing that we all must do on a regular basis. It's probably what it was created for, to guide us through life. You could have it all. You could have the house, the home, the family, the car, the money coming in. But if you've always been against this nagging feeling, your gut telling you, well, this isn't really making me happy, that in itself is telling you you're not on the right path. It's what it's there for. So use it. It's your inner compass. So be true to that, which means be true to yourself and always put yourself first, because again, once you're fit and healthy, you're on your path, you're on your trajectory, you can then be of help and support to everyone else in your life and the lives you might create in your life. So there we are. That is 1 to 10. My tips for those who are in their 20s. Let me know which one you liked the most. Feel free to comment below as well if you have any advice for the 20-year-olds. I always think, and I was told this, I was traveling around the world. I've done 44 countries now, and when I was in my 20s, and I was doing Singapore, Australia, Fiji, America, and so many other places. I remember this one chap, he said, just really enjoy your 20s with guidance, obviously, with these 10 points, you'll be set up, I think, for life. But he said, just go off and enjoy your 20s, just live, have fun and live. And that's what I did, and it was absolutely amazing. And then I think the decade of 30 to 40, that's your time of growth. I think that's when most people nowadays anyway have a family, and I think it's a very good time. You seem to be sort of older, wiser, more ready to have a family in your 30s as well. And I also think because you're in that mindset of building a family home or building that relationship, you're probably also in that mindset of building as well in terms of a business. So I just think between 30 and 40, that's your time for building whatever it is that you want to build, your dreams, your hopes, your aspirations, your family, your friends, your support network. And then 40 plus, you've just spent the last 10 years between your 30s and 40s, having like that building type, momentum. And then from 40 plus, just go off in the world and enjoy. Life can and will start at 40. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Because, you've done the fun, you've done the family, you built your business is, or your home, or whatever it is that you're building in life, and then you can just enjoy from 40 onwards while you still get your fitness and your health, because there's absolutely no point in this world if you've got everything but you haven't got your fitness and your health to enjoy it. Can you imagine if you spend 20, 30 years building your family, building your support network, building your businesses, and you get to that point where, okay, you can take a step back and enjoy it, but then you haven't been looking after your health or your fitness, which just seems pointless, doesn't it? So again, that was point number 3. Prioritise your health. Okay, that's the end of this workshop. Let me know what you think. Feel free to leave a comment in the description box. And if you've got any topics, then please let me know. It seems like I will be continuing with these workshops. Again, I've done 10 of these now. This is the 11th. And yeah, I'm more than happy to go off and research a topic should you need any help or guidance or any information really when it comes to stress, personal growth, if you've got queries and questions over depression, anxiety, or if you just need a point in the right direction when it comes to anything really, just let me know. Anyway, I really do appreciate you watching, you tuning in, and I will see you next week.